The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome everyone to QuoteWerks 101, our regular series of short presentations giving you hints and tips for getting the most out of QuoteWerks. And this morning I'm going to cover highlighting items in your quote. Hello, my name is Tim Wilmot and my company Wizard Systems. We're a specialist, essentially we're a specialist CRM systems supplier and QuoteWerks supplier who help small and medium-sized companies, primarily in the UK, but some further afield, improve their sales productivity, marketing, and customer service through the use of simple and affordable solutions like QuoteWerks. This presentation this morning will be about 5-10 minutes or so, fairly short. Just an overview of this feature. There's lots of features around how you can change the attributes of items appearing in your quote. This is not meant to be in-depth training. My company, Wizard Systems, offer many extensive training options, primarily online right now, because we're this presentation is at the 28th of April 2020. We're currently in lockdown. All of us at Wizard Systems are working from our home locations, and we're still very happy to and able to offer online training. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one where only you've got a message as you join the event that your microphone is on mute. If you've got any questions, please type those into the question box on your meeting control panel, and I'll do my best to answer those at the end. Also, at the end, I'll give you an update on the QuoteWerks product side of things, just to keep in the loop there. This call is being recorded as well. After the presentation, you will get an email from our system with a link to the recording, and we'll most likely pop it up on our YouTube channel as well. So let's get started. Quick mention about Wizard Systems, long-standing CRM and QuoteWerks provider. Our association with QuoteWerks goes back about 18-19 years. We're a top provider of the QuoteWerks product and can provide any kind of service around the system, the software, upgrades, tech support, training, integrations. We do also supply a wide range of CRM systems that also link to QuoteWerks to give a more complete, rounded approach to the way you're managing customers and client proposals and quote requests and so on. Okay, so let's get into highlighting items in your quote. So highlighting items is a great way of drawing attention for yourself to one or many lines, product lines in your items in your quotation, and maybe sharing also. We have a lot of clients sharing information with colleagues. If you're using the quotation approval system in QuoteWerks, the peer approval, that's a great way also of communicating some important items on the quote. Very simply, to highlight an item in your quote, you just click to select the line like that. I just click to the left of the left-hand column there. And then on this toolbar here, you've got the ability to highlight that item. So very simply, we've highlighted that. We could also select different colors as well from the drop-down list. You've got 7 different colors that you can choose from. You could also, as an enhancement to that, you could also use the notes. The notes column can be visible in your quote items, so you can also type in some explanatory notes in that. It's important to note here that this highlighting is for your eyes only. It won't appear on the end quote that goes to the customer, or if you're uploading and sharing this quote online via the add-on Quote Valet system, again, these items would not be highlighted. We find in Wizard Systems, this is a great way, as I've mentioned already, of in a long quotation, maybe with many items on the quote, great way of communicating to a colleague or highlighting areas that maybe a technical person might need to check the validity of what we've done. We also have some customers, when they are sending us screenshots or information to do with a support issue, they may highlight things there as well, just to highlight some question that they've got. A great way of us immediately seeing which item it relates to. Now, so you've got 7 colors. There is also a way of changing these labels here. So instead of yellow, well, the color will still be yellow, but maybe you want a description called please check, for example. It is possible to do that. Your QuoteWerks administrator will be able to go into your system settings, and this is a way of navigating to your system settings. So I'm going to my help menu and down to about, and then I got the settings manager down here. So this is where you can see all of the background settings of your system. If you modify any of these, you must do a backup beforehand, and normally only the administrator would have access to these settings. So you can actually create a new setting by clicking on this button here, and it will be a system setting. The section will be system. In the key name field, you need to type in the following: highlight color. Sorry, this is the US spelling of color. I do apologize. Number 1, if it was yellow, yellow is number 1, and then label, okay? And then in the key value, you'll need to put in what your new label will be. So I will put in there, say, please check. If I click OK now, that will be saved. You may need to exit QuoteWerks and come back in, log back into QuoteWerks to make that new label appear. So a really easy way of changing those label names to suit your own terminology. So there we are, highlighting items, quite an easy thing for you to implement in your QuoteWerks system where you manage your quotation, particularly useful for long quotes or where you're sharing information with colleagues and drawing your attention to important items that you may need to check. So as we normally do on our 101 sessions, I open out for anyone attending live, please type in any question you've got in your question box. Question from Lars: can you make the highlight on the quote to the customer? No, you, as an item, no, you can't. You can change. You may be familiar, and we may well indeed cover this on future QuoteWerks 101 sessions, but you can introduce into your quote headings, group headings, comments, of course. They could have a different font or could be boldface on a printed quote or an online quote via Quote Valley. So the items themselves, no, Lars. Question from Jay. We've got version 4.5. I don't seem to have this. So highlighting is in more recent versions of QuoteWerks. I think it came in around about 5.3. Excuse me, we're at 5.5 now. So yes, you'll need to do an upgrade there, Jay. Next question from Howard. Is there a list of these setting commands? If you mean all of the settings in the settings manager, they are covered through the manual. There may not be one single place where they are. You can go into your settings manager, Howard, and highlight that section and maybe then copy it and put it into Word or something like that so you can browse through them. But they are referred to whenever you see system settings, all one word, system settings or settings manager, you get to it via that, that help menu there. Right, don't think there's any other questions coming through. Any late questions come through, I'll answer those separately via email. So we are offering, during this lockdown period, online training on QuoteWerks. It could be an hour's duration, 2 hours duration. We find with online training, it can be difficult to keep people's attention longer than a couple of hours. But if you or your team need any training on any aspect of QuoteWorks, please let us know. We'd be happy to help out. The latest version of QuoteWorks 5.5 build 4. So you have these major versions, and then within the version, you get multiple builds that come out more frequently with more minor amendments to the software. Only one way of getting updates to QuoteWorks, you've got to have a UMP or upgrade maintenance program from Wizard Systems. Very simply, it's an annual contract or annual commitment that you have, and depending on the number of QuoteWorks licenses, there's an annual fee for that to get access to all of those updates. And normally every year, there's a handful of updates with maybe 1 or 2 major updates through that period. So that's me done for this 101 session. If you've got any ideas for future QuoteWorks topics that would be of interest to the QuoteWorks community, please let us know. Here are different ways of connecting with us. So my name again is Tim Wilmot. The company is Wizard Systems. There's various ways of connecting to us, and this video will be up on our YouTube channel as well very shortly. So thanks very much for attending. Those of you listening live, thanks for watching. If you're watching the recording, hope to see you soon. We will be doing this on a weekly basis. So maybe, fingers crossed, every Tuesday we'll be running another free QuoteWorks training session with different topics every week. Thanks very much indeed. Speak to you soon.